Hello mga kakaps ko! Hello 18! Welcome back to the channel. This is your Tita 18 right here, Nika. Alright, as you can see from the title of this video, I hope this would interest you because I think this is a very important topic to truly understand our Mahalima. Okay, so the title of their podcast was Time First on Spotify. So if you have not heard it, which I doubt, just go to their Spotify and just listen to it or watch the video because there's a video version of their podcast. So I was not actually ready to be in that emotional state while I was watching them and while I was hearing what they were saying. It was such an emotional roller coaster for me. And I guess you also felt the same thing when you were watching it. We always see Mahalima, SB19, breaking records, slaying stages, and just being the P-pop kings that they are. But listening to this podcast or watching this podcast, it just showed me the real humans behind the spotlight. And honestly, it hit me right into the feels here. It was a totally different podcast that they have shared to us in their first season. This one was deep. This one showed us their maturity. This one showed us their struggle as they climb higher, as they actually experience all of the successes that they are experiencing right now. And I love that they are not afraid to expose themselves to people because that's how they make us love them even more because we can totally relate to them. From Ken's fear of losing everything that they have built to Stell's struggle with being taken seriously behind those humor that he has got, this podcast was just raw, relatable, and empowering. So if you ever feel like your fears hold you back, 18, this video, this conversation is for you because we are going to break it down. Because here's the truth, even our idols, even the people that we really look up to, they have their inner battles, they have their silent battles. So maybe this is exactly why we stand them and we appreciate them. So let's go mga kakaps ko. Alright, so let's discuss Ken's fears and struggles first. I know that he has mentioned straight from his mouth that his fear is actually death, but I see it as he's not just prepared to die yet because his fear is actually losing everything what he's got now, everything that he has worked hard for, everything that he has built from the scratch. Losing his life now would probably make him feel like there's no one to continue his legacy, the legacy that he has started. So he's not really afraid of death in totality. His actual fear is about everything would crumble because no one would take the legacy that he has started in the future. And he mentioned how he would love to have a kid, right? So I was just trying to connect everything. It's not actually death, it's just like the fear of collapsing if he goes because nobody will take that legacy farther. So hearing what he said in this podcast, I saw someone who understands fame. It was just like a raw admission that he understands that fame could be so fleeting and that fame is not forever. So he has to be prepared. And that's why he thinks about family, right? So this actually mirrors the universal anxiety of investing into something. And then later on, you would realize that it was just temporary, that once you're gone, it's all also gone. So that's my takeaway from what my manok has said about his fears, about his struggles. All right, so let's move on to Pablo, and I'm going to really gonna tell you straight that amongst all of the struggles that we have known from each of the member, Pablo really hits me the most. I see his fear as the cost of success. Pablo's fear cuts deeper than the actual career struggle itself. It is more about the isolation that he is feeling right now because of fame. His words reflect the silent trade of many phase of ambition versus relationship. We have seen Pablo pour out everything that he's got to make music for SB19 and leading them to where they are right now, to the successes that they are experiencing right now. But still, he still cannot avoid to question himself if what he does as a leader and as a CEO, as a member of SB19 is still enough. You know, it makes me sad because people around him see his value as a CEO, as a member of SB19, and as a leader of SB19. It makes me feel sad because all of us see his value in this group. But it is just heartbreaking to see that even if they have already taken themselves up there and they have reached that success in their career right now, success still doesn't shield them from feeling lonely or feeling like they're not enough. Just like what Josh said about Pablo, he really admires Pablo for what he does for SB19, and we can all see that. I just pray and hope that Pablo could find that balance between career and his relationship, because we see that Pablo is actually affected by what he's missing, the family gathering that he's supposed to go. And I'm just glad that he also mentioned that after that he's finished with the music for SB19, he had the time to go back to his family in Cavite. That was nice to hear. I just hope that Pablo would really find time to have a quality time with his family, because it really does affect him, and we can really see it from how he says things, and we can see it from his eyes. That's why Pablo really hit me the most in this podcast, because you could feel the weight. He's missed a lot of things and he feels guilty about that. All right, so let's move on to Josh's struggles and fears. And from what I have understood, I feel like regret is the scariest thing for Josh, because he doesn't want to feel it. His fear is actually existential. Josh's fear is not about falling short. It's not about the fear of failure. It is actually not trying at all. It is actually not leaping at all. We have known Josh's life story, and we have seen the tenacity of Josh. We have seen him being a risk taker. We have seen him do his best to actually just survive in life. And this is what I appreciate about Josh. Because of his challenging life background, it made him really do everything that he would, because there's nothing to lose, because Josh is such a risk taker in life and he just doesn't want to have that feeling of regret. I feel like every opportunity that is presented to him, he would really do it the best that he could, because if he doesn't, then it would be a missed opportunity for him. It would become like an unexplored side of himself, the unexplored creativity and unexplored growth. I feel like Josh is always leaning towards being experimental because he wants to see growth. And I really salute Josh for just opening up, for being so honest. Josh's honesty speaks to a lot of people who are self-sabotage about the fear of the unknown. So don't. If you ever doubt yourself, if you're capable enough, do not. Just leap, just take that step, and you would never know. You will never know unless you try it. This just goes to show that what ifs should not be and will not be in the vocabulary of our soul. All right, so let's move on to our youngest. Let's move on to our Buja. Now, we all have known Buja as the collected member, as the calmest member of the group, but also he is the overthinker of the group. Now, being in an industry that they are in, I understand that every move people could judge you, every move is scrutinized by the media. So I cannot blame Ja for having that pressure of being perfect, the burden of perfection, that maybe one mistake that I will do can just end my career. It's just one mistake, it feels like an end. So I cannot remove that fear from him, because in an industry like this, yes, you could get judged. Your entire life could get judged with just one mistake, and that is the ugly side of being famous. That is the cost of fame, that is the cost of success. I'm glad to hear that Ja was able to let go a little bit. He started not to micromanage, he started to trust their staff more. Even Josh was a little bit surprised that when they consulted Ja, and he's like, okay, whatever, you can just do that. I feel like that really helped him a lot. That really helped his mental health a lot as well, because when you're an overthinker, it could really weigh you down. And I'm really glad that Ja was able to manage his expectation for himself, because I feel like he has a high expectation of himself as well. So that's why he always want to deliver things perfectly. From what we heard, like, it's okay to make mistakes as long as we learn together. You know, I had the same problem. Like, it was really hard for me not to micromanage before. It was almost like I was spoon feeding everyone. I've learned to drop that as well. So Justin is very relatable here, especially for people who really want everything to be perfect. I just hope that Justin continues to relax, because behind that really calm demeanor of Justin is a guy who overthinks a lot. Well, at least he doesn't. He is not like that now, and I hope it continues. Estelle Vester Agero. Now, we all know Stell as this sunshine boy. He is a person who attracts a lot of people because of his vibrant personality. He is considered as a sunshine person in 1Z Entertainment and SB19. As we have heard from Pablo, he likes looking at Stel because he's such a ray of sunshine. It's just the way how Stel is. He's just a happy person. But I feel like Stel cannot stop himself from thinking that sometimes as well he fears like people only see him as like that ray of sunshine, as like that person who is a clown, who always makes people laugh, but not an artist anymore. He feels like his suggestions or his thoughts are not valued anymore because they don't take him seriously. And he's given us an example during their episode when they had a meeting and he suggested something and everyone did not take it, and that's something that really weighs him down. That's something that really bothers him, because he suggested something that is just the same as what the other staff said, and everyone was just like, wow, that was a great idea. But then he said to himself, well, I suggested the same thing, but he didn't get the same reception. I just feel bad hearing Stell being vulnerable like that, but also I am glad that he was able to really say that out loud. And Stell, as we all know, Stell is very vocal anyway about his feelings, and that's why this type of episode, or maybe we can call it an open forum as well, because they're able to actually talk to each other and kumustahan with what's going on and how they feel. And that's why I really appreciate 1Z Entertainment for giving us this series of podcasts again. I feel like a lot of extroverts really relate to Stell because they all face the same thing, like being typecast as the fun one, but craving for that recognition that they also have depth in them. His vulnerability in this episode challenges the idea that cheerfulness can't coexist with being serious.